Good morning, badasses. Coach Joe here. This morning I wanted to talk a little bit about goal setting and kind of the long-term view. This is kind of an interesting opportunity to kind of to translate what we're talking about with endurance sports into like the business world. I've actually been chatting a little bit with this guy Jason from Aspire Entrepreneurship, which is a pretty awesome marketing YouTube channel that I've been following. And so he's experiencing some burnout. Like he's working too much. He's a little bit unhealthy. And we've kind of talked about goals and how there's in sports and in entrepreneurship, there's often this question of, well, how much work is enough work? I want to get here. How much work do I need to do every day to get that done? And how sometimes that can lead to some unhealthy work habits, just working too much, not taking enough time off, that kind of thing. So for those of you who've seen some of my my badass classes, you might remember that I talk a lot about the long game, about how if an athlete comes to me and they say, well, I want to do this in 3 months, I'll often say like, okay, well, let's how about let's think about doing that next year. And the reason for that is that, so if we are right here, this is the here and the now. Our body, and this is regardless of, your entrepreneurial trajectory or your athletic trajectory, your body has a natural progression. It wants to improve that fast. But what happens when we set especially a short-term goal is that often that goal might be here. So we end up forcing our body to improve at a different pace than it wants to. And we might be able to do that for 3 months. We might be able to do that for 6 months. But chances are, at some point you're going to do that. And what happens here is, this is basically that we have tried to progress at a rate that is faster than is sustainable for our body. And we've either been forced to take time off through illness or injury, or we want to take time off because we're just like, this shit sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. And so really what we want to do is focus on each and every day being sustainable and feeling like you're not overstepping your abilities each day. And yes, that's a little wishy-washy, and yes, that's damn hard to do. But if you focus on thinking about what I do today, I need to be able to do 100 times in a row. Because consistency over the long term is what wins every time. Badass out.